and welcome to IP Study Video Lectures. Today we're going to discuss the 5th chapter of Grade 7 English Grammar, and we will explore the topic adjectives. In this topic, we are going to identify adjectives and its kinds, explain adjectives used for comparison, positive, comparative, and superlative degrees, apply adjectives and degrees of adjectives to enhance description. Now, what are adjectives? Exactly, as the name says, adjectives add something to the noun. What do they add? Adjectives are also called describing words. They add the description to a noun. For example, this is a balloon. What is a noun in the sentence? Balloon. If I say, this is a red balloon, have I added something? Red. What is red doing? Red is describing what is the color of the balloon. Hence, adjectives are those magic words which describes the nouns in the sentence. Now let's look at the following dialogues. So, you are from the USA? Yes, I am an American citizen. Now, what is happening here? The lady is adding that she is an American citizen. So, American, because it is describing the citizenship of that person, it is adding something to the noun. Let's look at some more examples. Whose car is that? This box contains 15 apples. Now, these highlighted words, what are they doing for us? They are describing about what are we talking in the sentence, and they are describing the noun. That means car is a noun. Whose car is that? It's a question, and we are adding an adjective to ask whose car is that. The answer could be, this is Samir's car. Right? So, we're just adding the adjective here to complete our question. Similarly, this box contains 15 apples. Now here, 15 apples are describing that how many apples are there in the box. Now this was about what is an adjective. Here are some rules that you need to follow while using the adjectives in the sentence. For example, an adjective is usually put before the noun it describes. For example, this is a red balloon. Here the noun is balloon and we are using red as an adjective. We are putting red before the balloon and we are just describing the noun. But sometimes we need to separate the adjective from the noun, and in between we use helping verbs like am, is, are, was, were, look, seem, appear. For example, the boy is sad. The concept is difficult. The scenery is beautiful. Here, in all of these three sentences, we are describing the noun boy, concept, and scenery. But instead of using the adjectives just before the noun, we have separated them by using the helping verbs in between like is, and then we've used the words is sad, the boy is sad, the concept is difficult, the scenery is beautiful. So, adjectives can be used in both the ways. Now, there are different kinds of adjectives. Some adjectives, you tell them in number. For example, 20 balls. 10 people. These are adjectives of number. Sometimes you tell them in quantity. Small piece of cake. A few children. You're telling the quantity. Adjective of quality. You're telling the quality of the noun. Silk sari. Beautiful sari. Like this. Similarly, there are other kinds as well. Let's study all of these kinds in detail. Kinds of adjectives. Adjectives of quality, adjectives of quantity, adjectives of number, distributive adjectives, demonstrative adjectives, interrogative adjectives, possessive adjectives. Adjectives of quality. These adjectives describes the characteristics or qualities of a noun. For example, this is a beautiful house. He is a brave soldier. This is a big classroom. Here you are using these words to describe what kind of a soldier, what kind of a house, what kind of a classroom. So you're describing the quality. You're adding words which describes the quality of these nouns. Now the next type is adjectives of quantity. For example, I need some cash. I have little time to waste. Please give me a few examples. Here we are talking about how much of a noun is needed. So the nouns like cash, time, examples, we're giving the quantity to them. Adjectives of number. Adjectives of number tell us how many are needed. Never get confused between the quantity and number, because the quantity is describing how much is needed, which is an indefinite proportion. For example, few, some, how much. But a number is the exact number that you're talking about. For example, there are 50 participants in the workshop. Today is the first day of the Durga Puja festival. Today is the second day of my class. So here you are describing that how many person or things are we referring to and what is the position of a certain noun. Okay? Now, distributive adjectives. These adjectives refer to each one of a number. For example, every girl should attend the training session. Neither of the two groups was ready to quit. Here, you're talking about from the complete number of girls, you're talking about each girl. Means every girl must attend the session. Neither of the two groups. Here you're referring among the two groups. Neither of them are interested. Neither of them want to quit. Okay? So here you are distributing the adjectives. For example, from the pool of things, you are giving each noun a distributive adjective. Demonstrative adjectives. This topic you have already done in grade 6 and in grade 5 as well. What are demonstrative things, or what are demonstrative pronouns, or what are demonstrative adjectives? Demonstrative when you're referring to which a person or a thing is. For example, these books don't belong to me. Can you see that building? Here you're referring books and building by using the words like these and that. Similarly, you can use the word, can you pass me this book? So you are using this for the book. Interrogative adjectives. Interrogative adjectives are used to ask questions like, which book are you reading? Whose car is this? Whose dog is that? Whose book is that? All of these words are interrogative adjectives. Possessive adjectives. The words which show possession. For example, my, our, your, his, her, its, their are called possessive adjectives. These are used with the nouns to show the possession or ownership of something. This is our house. I have found my pen. So our and my are called possessive adjectives. Now, the adjectives like demonstrative adjectives, interrogative adjectives, and possessive adjectives, they always come before a noun. That means you are not separating them by using the helping verbs like is, am, are, were, look, appear, or seem. So, demonstrative adjectives, possessive adjectives, and interrogative adjectives are always used before a noun. For example, this is our house. Whose book is that? All of these are coming before a noun. Now, let's do the next one, proper adjectives. Proper adjectives are proper nouns used in the adjective form. For example, that man is German. I am an American citizen. That man is a German soldier. So, here, that man is German is a proper noun. That man is a German soldier is a proper adjective. Here, you're talking about that man and you're giving them a noun which is German, but what German? Which kind of a German? Are they German citizen? Are they German soldier? What are they referring to? Hence, we've used that man is a German soldier, proper adjective. We did a sentence in the beginning, I am an American citizen. So, American is describing a citizenship. So, this is a proper adjective as well. I live in China is a proper noun. I love Chinese food is an adjective. So, I live in China. Where do you live? What is the place you live in? In China. That's a noun because that's a place. That's a name of a place that I'm living in. But what kind of food do you like? I like Chinese food. I like Indian food. So you are giving a describing word to a food which is Chinese and Indian. Hence, this becomes the proper adjective. Now, adjectives in certain cases are also used for comparisons. For example, the orange juice is cold. The pineapple juice is colder than the orange juice. The grape juice is the coldest. So what are we doing here? We are comparing three kinds of juices: orange juice, pineapple juice, and grape juice. What kind of comparisons are we doing? We're doing the comparison of their temperature. So we said orange juice is cold. Then pineapple. Oh, pineapple juice is colder. Oh, then grape juice. Grape juice is the coldest. That means we are saying orange juice is cold. But more than orange juice, pineapple juice is cold. But more than pineapple juice and orange juice, the grape juice is cold. So for this kind of comparison, we are using cold, colder, coldest. Similarly, we apply these rules to compare a lot of things. Let's see how. Adjectives used to compare persons and things have 3 degrees of comparisons. Positive degree, when we refer to only one person or thing. Comparative degree, when we compare 2 persons or things. Superlative degree, when we compare more than 2 persons or things. So, positive when we refer to only one person or a thing. Comparative when we compare 2 persons or things. Superlative when we compare more than 2 persons or things. Forming comparative and superlative degrees. We can make comparative and superlative degrees in many ways. How? For example, by adding ER and EST to the positive degree of the adjectives. For example, bold. This girl is bold. This is a positive degree. Now, comparative degree would be by adding ER. Bold becomes bolder. And superlative degree, we will add EST. Bolder becomes boldest. So, positive bold, comparative bolder, superlative boldest. Similarly, young, younger, youngest, sweet, sweeter, sweetest, cold, colder, coldest. Now, when an adjective ends with E, the E is dropped by adding ER and EST. So for example, brave. The positive degree, brave, is ending with E. Here, comparative will be braver and bravest. So, what are you doing here? You're not adding ER or EST, but E was already present, hence you just added R and ST. Noble, so you are just adding R, nobler, and superlative, you added ST, noblest. Similarly, gentle, gentler, gentlest. Large, larger, largest. So all of these words already had E at the end. Hence, you have just added R and ST in the end to make the comparison. When an adjective ends with Y, then busy. So what are you doing here? You will drop Y and add IER in the end. Busy becomes busier. Again, to make it superlative degree, drop Y and add IEST in the end. So busy becomes busiest. Similarly, costly becomes costlier by dropping Y and adding IER. Costliest by dropping Y and adding IEST. Crazy becomes crazier, craziest. Heavy becomes heavier, heaviest. So what did we do? To make the positive to comparative and superlative, you added ER and EST, but there are certain spelling rules that we must follow. Hence, the adjectives ending with E, you're only adding R and ST in the end. For adjectives ending with Y, you drop Y and add IER and IEST in the end. Now, when an adjective ends in consonant, what do? Big. Big is ending with the consonant. Now, to make it comparative, you'll say bigger, biggest. What did you do here? Can you notice? Exactly. You just doubled the consonant and added ER and EST at the end. For example, BIG, big, becomes bigger by adding GER in the end. So, the words ending with consonants, you just double the consonant and add ER and EST to them. Thin becomes thinner. So, here N becomes double N and add ER to it to make it a comparative degree. Thinnest to make it a superlative degree. Red becomes redder, reddest. Mad becomes madder, maddest. Now, some adjectives can be changed into superlative and comparative degree by using more and most. That means you're not adding ER or EST at the end of the adjectives, but you're just using the words more and most. Which are these words? Beautiful. So, in comparative degree, this will become more beautiful. In superlative degree, this will become most beautiful. Elegant. More elegant, most elegant. Industrious. More industrious, most industrious. Now, how will you identify in what kind of words we need to use more and most and not ER and EST? Can you think about it? Right, these are the quality adjectives. Quality adjectives which cannot be touched. That can only be felt or admired. Like beautiful, elegance, industrious, educated, right? You can't see it, but you can just feel it. So in those kind of adjectives, you add more and most. But adjectives which you can visually see or touch, like red, redder, reddest, big, thin, tall, You can see them visually. So for those kinds of adjectives, you'll add er and est in the end. But the adjectives which are the quality which you cannot visually see, like beautiful, elegance, educated, industrious, you will add more and most to it. Okay? Some adjectives are irregular. Their comparative and superlative degrees are not formed from the positive degree. They are formed by using a new word. For example, far becomes farther, farthest. So far becomes farther, farthest. There is no rule of er or est or change in the spelling, but you're forming a new word. Like good. Good becomes better, best. Little, less, least. Late, later, latest. All of these words are formed by new words. So these are irregular adjectives. So that was all about adjectives. In this chapter, we studied what are adjectives and how they add value to the sentence by adding describing words to the noun. There are different kinds of adjectives like quality, quantity, possessive, interrogative, demonstrative. All of these adds describing words to the noun, and we add the value in these ways. You can also use adjectives for comparisons when you're comparing two things or more than two things. Adjectives are magical words which add value to your everyday conversation. This was all about it. Thank you for today and stay tuned for our next video.